Hello everyone, it's your host, Get Good Fox, and welcome to the Stay Frosty Enhanced Re-Review. I think I can do these reviews a lot better, so I'm bringing them up to standard. I'm going to show you all of the items, how to get them, whether or not I think they're good, and then I will briefly at the end recap what I would say are the best bounties of the pack. Anyways, let's get started with the cosmetics. First up is the Boonie Cap Winter Camo. The bounty is to kill 2 freaks while crouched, so it's very easy to get. Cosmetics, they don't have any stats, but you can see here it's like a flat, floppy looking hat with like a digital snow camo color scheme. Next up is the Tactical Uniform Winter Camo. Bounty is to kill 30 zombies with fire, so it's just really easy to get, and it matches the Boonie Cap, another one of these kind of snow camo color outfits. It's basically a color swap of the Red Talon outfit, and it's just so easy to get, so I don't see why not. I'd go for it. But let's move right into the melee weapons next. First, we've got the Tactical Walking Stick. The bounty is to kill 7 plague zombies with blunt weapons. If you want more sticks, they cost 380 influence each. This is a blunt weapon that weighs 4 pounds, and overall, it really just has no outstanding stats. The stats are all like kind of mediocre to average, and that means it's just not a very good weapon because it also weighs 4 pounds. There are some lightweight blunt weapons that also don't have fantastic stats, but at least they're lightweight. This one is a heavier than average weapon, and the stats aren't very good. Some of the zombies were taking like 3 hits to knock down, even with a striking focus character, so hard pass on this one for me. That brings us to the other melee weapon, the Yukon Pathbreaker. Bounty is to kill 1 feral with a bladed weapon. The price for more Pathbreakers is 750 influence each. It's a bladed weapon that weighs 2.5 pounds, and once again, has very average stats. It still performed decently in combat trials, but the issue with the Yukon Pathbreaker is that there is no shortage of higher quality bladed weapons, so this one, it just falls short. You could do so much better than this weapon, so once again, I just gotta say, pass on the Yukon Pathbreaker because the stats just aren't there, and you will easily be able to find another higher quality bladed weapon than this. Let's move right into the ranged weapons, though, starting with the Samurai SMG. The bounty is to kill 5 hordes. If you want more Samurai SMGs, they cost 250 influence each, so very, very cheap. It's an assault weapon with all of the firing modes. It shoots 9mm bullets. It weighs 6 pounds, and other than its very low price, it doesn't have any remarkable features. Like, it doesn't have, like, high accuracy, very average accuracy, actually. It doesn't have a scope, uses the normal iron sights, so overall, it's a kind of whatever-ish weapon. There's definitely way, way better 9mm guns. The only argument I can see for it is maybe for the low price of $250 you could kit out your community with automatic weapons, but overall I would say, nah, you could probably pass on this weapon just because 9mm category has plenty of great weapons. Next up, we've got the DBartini. Bounty is to kill 15 zombies with rifles. If you want more of these, they cost 500 influence each. It is a bolt-action rifle that shoots 7.62mm bullets. It weighs 4.5 pounds, and it does have some special features. First, the bolt recycles faster than other bolt-action rifles, meaning the shooting speed is quicker. It has a mid-range scope with pretty good accuracy, not pinpoint, but it's still good. It's also magazine-fed, unlike some of the bolt-action rifles where you got to put the bullets in one at a time. And overall, it's of decent quality. The problem is that a lot of the weapons features are at odds with each other. There's firing these heavy caliber bullets, for example, but it's not an automatic weapon, so you're not going to be shredding a Juggernaut, you're not going to be shredding a Plague Guard, so the bullets are overkill against small, weak enemies, but it doesn't shoot fast enough to be good against a heavy-duty target, so this weapon would be awesome if it fired smaller bullets, like 22 caliber bullets, but because it's just such an expensive weapon to use, because 7.62mm rounds, they're just not cheap, I gotta say, pass on the weapon. But next up is the Otto Howlitzer. Bounty is to kill 5 freaks with rifles. Price for more of these is 750 influence each. It's a bolt-action anti-material rifle. It weighs 5.5 pounds, shoots the massive 50 caliber armor-penetrating bullets. It has a 4-round capacity, though you can fit a 5th round in there. It's got a medium strength scope, but it's strangely inaccurate. It's got like really wide spread, but despite all all of this, it's still just a super awesome weapon because it's a 50 caliber weapon. 50 caliber weapons, they will kill juggernauts in 5 hits. The 5th shot does have to be a headshot, specifically while it is in the down position. But the thing is, your allies don't use ammo, and that negates the extremely high price of the 50 caliber bullet. So just put it on your allies, and you now have a base that is protected against juggernauts. But the other thing that makes the Otto Howlitzer good is that you don't have to wonder how to get your 50 caliber weapons. As long as the Stay Frosty bounty pack is in cycle, you just go to Cache Beaumont and buy them for 750 influence each. And 750 is actually kind of cheap. The Timberwolf costs 1,000, the B50FG costs 1,500. The M99 is cheaper at 350, but it's not always available, whereas the Otto Howlitzer always is, so definitely gets the approval from Fox. Grab yourself an Otto Howlitzer. Next up, though, is the Cold Turkey. Bounty is to kill 1 Plague Art with a shotgun. The price for more Cold Turkeys is 750 influence each. It is a semi-automatic shotgun, and it weighs 8.5 pounds, fires, well, 12-gauge shotgun shells. It has an 8-shell capacity, and you do have to load the shells manually. It's not magazine-fed, but what makes it interesting is that it has a very long-range scope and is surprisingly accurate by shotgun standards. To make it even better, it comes with a professional choke, just to make it that much more accurate. It's essentially a sniper shotgun. The spread is big enough to function like a shotgun when you're not zoomed in, but when you do zoom in, you can hit things at a surprisingly long range, and it has enough spread that you don't need to be perfectly accurate. It's a really, really fun weapon to use. Probably wouldn't recommend it on Nightmare Zone or Lethal Zone due to the sound it creates, but it's the closest thing you're going to get to a Sabo slug shooting shotgun, and it's just a really, really fun, really unique. There's no other shotgun like it, so I do recommend picking up a Cold Turkey. Then you've got the Midnight Solstice. Bounty is to kill 25 zombies with crossbows, and the price for more of these is 750 influence each. It is a crossbow, and you do have to manually load it. It weighs 1.5 pounds. It fires light bolts, has a 1-bolt capacity. It has a medium-range scope, and since it is a crossbow, it's immune to durability. It doesn't make any sound at all when it shoots, though the impact of the arrow does make sound. And since you're firing arrows, you do have a chance to recover them, especially if you hit zombies, and especially if you have the wit, skill, resourcefulness. However, despite all of this, I really don't like the Midnight Solstice, and that's because its only weakness is that it has massive, massive arrow drop, bullet drop, whatever you want to call it. When you shoot it, gravity just pulls the bolts down at like a crazy rate compared to other crossbows, and what it winds up doing is you have to spend a lot of time lining up your shots. It's not bad when the enemies are up close, but you want to use this weapon at range because it's silent and it doesn't reload very quickly, so you're kind of screwed if you're up close with it. So overall, I just think it's way too hard to use. I would much rather use the standard light crossbow and certainly the Echo X3 repeating crossbow, the only magazine-fed crossbow in the game. And that brings us to the HBSD Blackout. Bounty is to kill 2 juggernauts with assault weapons. Price for more of these is 1,150 influence. It is an assault weapon. It has semi-automatic fire and fully automatic fire. It shoots 7.62mm bullets. It weighs 6.5 pounds. It has a 20-round capacity, and it does have some special features. First up, it has an integrated silencer. This means that it cannot ever be removed, but the benefit is that it doesn't cause bonus damage to the weapon as attached silencers do. It also has what I'm going to call a CQC scope. This is a scope that zooms in just a little bit and makes your aim just a little bit more accurate. I feel like they don't really make much of a difference either way, but it is a unique feature to the weapon. Overall, I don't really think that the Blackout is very good, and the reason for that is because the features are at odds with each other. It shoots heavy caliber bullets, but you can't attach a brake to max out the damage. It also has a small capacity magazine, so you're not going to be able to use these heavy bullets to shred a Plague Art or shred a Juggernaut. So you're supposed to, I guess, use it to kill regular zombies, but you wouldn't want to shoot expensive 7.62mm bullets at regular everyday zombies when you could just pop them with a 22 caliber bullet. So overall, it's got decent quality, but it just isn't matched up very. There's not enough synergy between the weapon's stats. And that brings us to our final item on the list, the maintenance bench. Bounty is to craft 180 crossbow bolts. Price for more benches is 1,000 influence each. It is a facility mod, and it fits into any facility mod slot, and the effect is, for 1 hour, your gun and melee durability loss is reduced by 50%. The cost to activate the bench does increase with difficulty, though. On standard zone, it costs 100 parts, 2 cases of chemicals, and 1 building material, whereas on lethal zone, it'll cost 200 parts, 2 cases of chemicals, and 3 materials. Now, the secret to the maintenance bench is that you can install 2 of them, and if you activate both of them together, you will have complete durability immunity to all of your guns and melee weapons, so minus 100% durability loss. This is useful in 2 situations. One, there are very high quality but fragile weapons such as the Bastard of Bellow Woods, often declared the best bladed weapon in the game, as well as weapons like the Prepper's 1022, which has cheap bullets, great accuracy, great capacity, but is known for breaking down very quickly. Another good use for this is if you're someone who just loves just slaughtering zombies in incredible battles at huge numbers, then yeah, you could definitely use more than 200 parts worth of gear. You could use more than 400 parts worth of gear on lethal zone. So it could be worth it if you fall into those categories to pick up the maintenance bench, but I'd recommend grabbing it anyways just because the interaction of this mechanic is just so interesting, and you can only get it while the Stay Frosty pack is up. Anyways, here is my conclusion on what you should go for. So I would say get the hat and the camo, the 2 cosmetics. They're so easy to get, it's not going to take you out of your way to get them. I do recommend the Otto Howlitzer simply because 50 caliber weapons are really good, especially if you have a guaranteed source of them, as long as the Stay Frosty bounty pack is around. I'd recommend getting the Cold Turkey. It's just such a unique weapon. It's really fun to use. If you like sabot, slug, shotguns, this is as close as you're going to get to it. And lastly, I do recommend the maintenance bench because, once again, it's got this really unique interaction. Like, I think it's always worth it to get very unique things so that you can play the game differently. But yeah, if you like to use fragile weapons, it definitely could be a benefit to you. Same if you're like this massive zombie battler who just fights tons of zombies, you could profit from it as well as enjoy complete weapon durability immunity. Anyways, let me know what you think down in the comments section. Which of these weapons do you think are interesting? Which of these weapons do you enjoy using? Did I convince you to try any of these out? Let me know down in the comments section. Like the video if it was informative. Subscribe for more State of Decay 2 content. And of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.